Chapter 1. Dust and Silence. The wind blew fierce across the desert plains, kicking up spirals of dust that danced like spirits in the heat. The town of Dry Hollow stood in the middle of nowhere, its wooden buildings sun-bleached and weary, much like the people who called it home. The land was hard, and the hearts were often harder. At the edge of town, in a small cabin beside the dried-out creek, lived a woman known only as Clara May. Her past was something whispered about behind church pews and over poker tables. Some said she had once been the wife of a sheriff who was gunned down. Others claimed she was once a saloon girl who'd grown tired of men and whiskey. Whatever the truth, Clara was a woman carved by sorrow and silence. Strong, yes, but there was a weight in her eyes that even the strongest spine couldn't carry. She lived alone, with her goats, a milk cow named Bessie, and the ache of a child she lost years ago. Chapter 2. The Stranger at Her Door. It was near sundown when the knock came, sharp, urgent. Clara opened the door cautiously, the shotgun resting behind the wall in case trouble came calling. But it wasn't trouble. It was desperation. A tall, sun-scorched Apache warrior stood before her. His long black hair was matted with sweat, his face streaked with blood and dust. In his arms he cradled a baby, no more than a few months old, feverish and crying softly. "I need milk," he said, voice hoarse, "for the child." Clara stared at him. "That baby ain't yours." His jaw tightened. "She's my sister's daughter. My sister died last night. I buried her this morning." There was no deceit in his eyes, only exhaustion and grief. Clara stepped aside. "Bring her in." He hesitated. "You would trust an Apache?" "I ain't trusting you," she said. "I'm saving the baby." Chapter 3. A Name in the Firelight. The child was half-starved. Clara tried a bottle with warmed goat's milk, but the baby gagged and turned away, weak and trembling. Clara hadn't breastfed in years, but instinct and grief collided in her chest as she unbuttoned her blouse and brought the child to her. The warrior turned his back in silence as she nursed the baby, his shoulders stiff. "She'll live," Clara whispered hours later, rocking the baby to sleep. "But she'll need more than milk." He finally sat down on the floor, his hands blistered and caked in dried blood. "Her name is Nolly. It means love in my people's tongue." Clara looked down at the baby, now asleep against her breast. "Nolly." The warrior's eyes met hers. "I am Tocho, son of Whitebird." Chapter 4. Enemies in Every Corner. Tocho stayed the night, sleeping outside near the goat pen, keeping watch. Word spread fast in Dry Hollow. The next morning, Clara opened her door to find a group of men on horseback. Among them was Sheriff Burke, a man with more swagger than soul. "You harboring a savage, Clara?" She crossed her arms. "I'm feeding a baby. That all right with you, Sheriff? The town don't take kindly to redskins, especially ones that sneak into white homes." "He didn't sneak," she said calmly. "He knocked." Burke spat in the dirt. "Folks say you went soft since your child died. Guess now we know how soft." Before Clara could reply, Tocho stepped forward, hands raised. "I will leave. No blood. For the baby's sake." Clara's face went cold. "You leave, they'll shoot you in the back before you reach the hills." "Better me than you," he said. But Clara wasn't going to let him go that easy. Not now. Chapter 5. Milk and Gunpowder. For days, Tocho stayed in Clara's shed, working silently. He fixed her fences, repaired the goat pen, and even helped dig a new well. They didn't speak much at first, but in the evenings, when the baby cooed and fed peacefully in Clara's arms, the silence broke. "I never knew my mother," Tocho said one night. Clara stirred the soup. "Mine died giving birth. Pa never forgave me for living." "You had a child?" Clara nodded slowly. "A girl, Scarlet. Fever took her at 2. He looked down. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. Pain has its place, but sometimes I think I died with her." Tocho looked up. "You are not dead. I have seen dead eyes. Yours still fight." Chapter 6. Fire in the Dark. Trouble came back under the cover of night. A gang of local ranchers, led by Burke's deputy, rode in with torches and bottles. They shouted threats, demanded blood, and lit Clara's barn on fire. Nally screamed in the cabin. Tocho rushed out with his bow, but Clara grabbed her shotgun first. From the porch, she fired a warning shot in the air. One more step, and you'll find out how many of you can die before your whiskey hits the ground. The men jeered, but they hesitated. Toto stood beside her now, bow drawn. Then something shifted. The smoke, the baby's cries, Clara's defiance. It unsettled them. One by one the men backed down. The barn burned to the ground, but Clara's cabin stood untouched. Later, Clara helped Tocho wash the smoke from his face. "They'll be back," she whispered. He touched her hand. "Then I will stay." Chapter 7. The Middle of Us. Weeks passed. The town buzzed with whispers, but no more attacks came. Nally grew stronger, healthier, and smiled first at Clara, then at Tocho. Clara found herself laughing again, something foreign in her throat. She watched Tocho carry the baby on his shoulder or whisper to her in Apache, and something warm bloomed in her chest. One evening, after dinner, Clara spoke softly. "You could take her, you know. Raise her with your people. Safer than here." Tocho shook his head. "You are her mother now. Nally chose you. But you're her blood. And you're her heart." He stepped closer, eyes searching hers. "You saved her life, and mine." Their lips met like two rivers that had always meant to find each other. Chapter 8. Scars and Promises. But peace never lasted long in Dry Hollow. Sheriff Burke returned, this time with a warrant. "He's wanted for killing a rancher near the border. That baby's just an excuse. He's an outlaw." Tocho didn't deny it. "He tried to take Nally from my sister. He struck her. I struck back." Burke laughed. "So you admit it." Clara stepped forward. "Then you'll have to arrest me too, 'cause I helped hide him. And if he's a murderer, so am I, for what I'd do to a man who tried to harm that child." The sheriff looked between them, then turned to spit. "Ain't worth the trouble, but if he stays, blood will come." Gilberto looked at Clara. "Then we'll leave." "No," she said. "We stay. We build. We fight if we must. I've already buried a child. I won't bury another." Chapter 9. Redemption Comes. Soft. Spring rolled into summer. Dry Hollow slowly shifted. A few townsfolk began to warm Nally. Nally's bright laughter and Clara's strength softened suspicion. Some brought milk, others offered tools. The new preacher even baptized Nally in the creek, saying no child should grow without a name under God. Tacho built a second room onto Clara's cabin, carved a cradle by hand. He taught her words in Apache. She taught him to read English. One night, as they lay beneath the stars, Clara whispered, "I never thought I'd love again." He kissed her forehead. "I thought I'd never belong." They had both been broken, but together they were whole. Chapter 10. A Family Forged in Fire. Years passed. Nally grew into a fierce, wild-hearted girl with Clara's eyes and Tocho's strength. She ran barefoot through the creek, tamed wild ponies, and spoke 2 languages fluently. Dry Hollow was no longer just a dusty town. It was their home. Clara still wore the grief of her past like a shadow, but now it didn't consume her. She wore love like sunlight, fierce and warm. Tocho, once a lone warrior in exile, had found more than forgiveness. He found purpose, roots. And on a quiet evening, when Clara tucked Nally into bed and returned to Tocho's arms, she realized something beautiful. She was no longer surviving. She was living.